Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we are going to be installing a new exhaust on the Jeep. As you can see, I went for the high tuck exhaust because I want to get rid of that whole bubble section at the back of the Jeep. You'll see when we remove that. And I want to just have something that tucks away nice and tight to the body, so no dents. If you go over and you're going off-roading, just less thing to bonk. So let's put this down flat. Like so. And then we'll flip this over. Flip this over. Take the strap out of the way. Oh look, pieces of exhaust. I got the stainless steel version, by the way. Some people might choose to get the black or a black powder coating done or something, but not I. Perfect. We'll put this one here. By the way, these things really aren't that hard to do, but we'll definitely be going over the instructions just to make sure. Oh look, a replacement. Or well, I should say, everything's being replaced. Just to make sure no parts are underneath, because that's the last thing we need. And look, oh, nope, no things underneath. I always hate this kind of stuff because it's like, what do you do with that? Just fill it full of cardboard. All right, so as you can see, we have 4 pieces in total. And we're gonna open this up because we have a whole bunch of exhaust clamps in here. And we're gonna open up these instructions and take a quick look at them. So going through basically what everything says, make sure you check, make sure nothing's damaged so you don't get a P code. And then this on top of it, take a look at this. It's telling you right now that we need to go and first disassemble our old exhaust, which is right here. Very easy, I'll show you where we start. But first, make sure you have your 4 clips and your 4 pieces. After you have that and you've inspected, made sure nothing is damaged, now prepare to remove everything from underneath. So this is the driver's side door of the Jeep. Go underneath it. Once you do, you will see this Y collector right here, where it goes from right here to right there. So what you're gonna wanna do is we're gonna loosen up all these clamps all the way down, and then we're gonna basically remove it from the very back to here. So at the very rear of the vehicle, I'm not really gonna show you the rear because this is your major big one. Take a 15, put it on here, make sure it's a big ratchet, and you're gonna loosen it. Depending on how old the exhaust is, it could be harder than usual. If it is, then use a little bit of penetration fluid. Penetration fluid is literally what it's called. Just look for liquid wrench or whatever else you want. And after you loosen this, next thing you're gonna have to do is, if we look completely up, and I bring my light over here, this hanger, we're gonna have to slide this all the way to the back of the hanger. We're gonna have to work our exhaust out on both sides from this rubber hanger. Now, you'll probably be wondering, do I keep these? Well, yes. The reason why is your exhaust doesn't actually bolt to the vehicle itself, because if it did, you would have lots of rattling noises. Looking at our exhaust, this is the driver's side of the very first piece. You're gonna see this one is off to the side. So the first thing you wanna do is actually come over here, and you can either if you make a soapy solution, literally just dish soap or whatever, and you can actually put it on here if you're having problems getting this off, but you're just gonna grab it, you're literally gonna pull it away like that and work this rubber off of you. Step 1, you put the whatever you have for dish soap on here, you put it on the nub, and then after you put it on the nub, which is the entire tip, you're gonna pull that rubber gasket back as far as you can, and then rub it all over the tip. Once you do that, then you put, if you have a ball joint separator, it's the best thing to use, but you slowly push it in like that, and then you press it against the exhaust. Like so, like you're pulling against the exhaust. When you're pulling on it like this, all of a sudden that's gonna pop out, and the reason why you're using the exhaust as a rest point is because then it's pulling the exhaust out of the gasket. I'll try and show you over here. So again, we're throwing a little bit of soap on here. It's gonna be your lube. Take it like so. Get it up in here. Just rub it all over the tip. Any guy should be used to this. And then, after you do that, like I said, ball joint separator. Depending on the angle you want to come in at, whether it's forward or backward, you're gonna just do this and then, pull that there. Now, depending on this one, I might try and do it from the other side, but let's see. Basically, let's see how I want to do this one. That might do it right here. And see how I'm doing that? Just gonna put that pressure. I might have to find another area to come on. But you do that, and then it works out of here. You can see that tip is already pressing against it. But I don't want this to slide out with the camera in my hands, because when it does, this exhaust is probably gonna come down at me. The passenger side muffler one right here was the absolute worst. So what I did is I took my big black pry bar, pressed this against the sway bar back here. Once it was pressed up against here, I took my ball joint separator from this side and I used it to wedge between the rubber like this, and then I used this to stretch the rubber past here. Well, this was pressing the muffler against the sway bar. This one I can actually show you as a perfect example. So after you get the soap on there, you put this in here, ball joint separator in between, and you're just prying it like this to get it out. And of course it slipped that time, but you're just gonna keep working it until that head pops out. It is time consuming. There's tons of them, and some of them you have to find different leverage points all the way around. For this one, it's pretty easy. You have the ball joint separator, just hammer the end of the ball joint separator in, and then just keep prying. Second 15 mil, which is right there on the Y connector, right there. I had to spray some penetrating fluid because it's really tight in there. You'll need to use a deep socket, but not too deep. If you use your big 3/4 inch socket, it probably won't fit. You have to use like a 1/2 inch socket if you use that, or the other way around. And yes, if you slide it on there, it should just slide in there with the ratchet. And then you have to pretty much line it up either right here or just inside the body, so that way you just get enough room to loosen it. It's either that or you can try with a box wrench, but again, if she's in there pretty tight, it's going to be fun. You've loosened those 2 muffler screws. A lot of the times this exhaust piece won't separate, but the other one will because of leverage. So now if you've got them both loosened, like I showed you so far, we're gonna grab this, we're gonna just try to wiggle it and pull it forward. It was easy, like I said, just grab it and twist it back and forth and pull, and it comes out. The long part, you just grab it right here and put your foot on right here, like these flannel pajama pants, and then grab these, wiggle, and as you're grabbing and pressing and wiggling, moving it up and down every which way, it's gonna slowly separate the lips, and then it'll slowly come out. At this point, once you've got the exhaust piece all loose in here, chances are you're not gonna be able to get it out unless you drop this skid guard right here. So throw an 18 on, take out this bolt, that bolt, and the 2 little guys right here, and drop this skid plate out of the way, and then you'll be able to get the exhaust out. Once you get that heavy skid plate out of the way, if this is already out, I just have it wedged up. Now you can just lift it out from right here. You'll just drop it and then slide it out and put it off to the side. Line up your pieces how they're gonna go. After you do that, now you're gonna go under the vehicle, because we know which piece is which. And we're gonna slide these back into those grommets so it's holding each of the pieces except for the cat right there. Don't forget a little bit of soap. That was a lot of damn soap. And then just do this, get those all nicely lubed up. If you look up there, see that notch? See that notch? That needs to slide into there. So you might want to slide this in first, or you'll slide this in and you'll try and work it on. Basically, it slides in super easy though. You'll see it literally just goes like this, And then once that's lined up, now you can try and work it onto here. Now I have an exhaust extension, so you can see that it's gonna be a little bit more pressure for me, but that's basically it. Don't forget to put your clamp on too. I'm showing you that first. Make sure you preload your clamps onto here and make sure that it's so the tying nut is either to the side or back like this. It'll make your life a whole lot easier to have that nut facing down. If you accidentally slide this all together and this is facing up, you might regret it. Just leave it down like this. When we are putting this together, do not, whatever you do, tighten this completely all up right away. We want to do that last. So you can loosely do this, but don't crank these bad boys down yet. This one in for me just because the exhaust extension was too hard, so I ended up popping the mount off. So now I'm going to slide this mount in first, and then I will slide the exhaust piece in and slide this back on, and we'll see if that works better. Next piece put like this. Make sure that the clip's like this. If you put it like that, if it works, it'll probably rattle against the body. At least this way you can choose if you want to go up, but I'll probably just do mine to the side like this because I really don't care. Some people won't do it because of aesthetics, but for me, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. Same with this one. Keep it away from the body. Make sure we have clearance of our spring. This is all good. I'm gonna check for clearance to my body because I don't want it to rattle against the body. So like that. See, that's why we're doing this loose for right now, because then we can tighten it up so it's away from the body. And then now I'm just gonna put the tip in, which is the last piece. So again, put the last clip and the tip on. Now you're gonna go through and slowly tighten up pieces like this. Not all the way, snug them up, get them so they'll hold. So that way when we go back through here, we're gonna be checking body clearance. Like you wanna make sure that this isn't touching the body, that isn't touching the body. And as you go, just twist and turn it and make sure that it's away from the body before you tighten these up. And of course, make sure the clips aren't touching the body when you're tightening them. But yeah, and then after you're done and you have this exhaust exactly how you like it, grab your torque wrench and crank these down to about 40 foot-pounds. That's 40. Is all torque down to 40. Let's go and give it a quick start. So grab your key, pop your door open, and oh, that sounds good. Hear it from inside. Not too bad. Open it up, rev a little. Ooh, that sounds so good. Now we've warmed up, so it's gotten its deeper tone. It's cold here, that's why you're seeing a lot more exhaust smoke right now. Just dropping some water right now. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Now all there is go drive, see how you like it. I already like the whole different sound this thing puts. Holy smokes. Gives it a lot more throaty sound. So from this point, what you're gonna wanna do is drive it. Give it about 100 kilometers or 50 miles, and then after you drive it, just double check all your clasps. Now, one thing I will warn you about is don't do it after you drive it, obviously, because it'll be hot. You'll hurt yourself. That's it. All right, press like if it helped you out, subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching. Loving it. Thanks again, Magnaflow, for another wicked product. Don't forget to put your skid plate on either.